Welcome, pilots! This video is part of my guide detailing every high-security combat site. In most of these videos, you'll see me flying an assault frigate called the Ishgar. This ship is quite well suited for the Haunted Yard, and its escalation, Pulverize the Pioneers. Combat signatures appear in your probe scanner window, and you must scan them down with probes before you can warp to them. Some combat signatures do not have a DED difficulty rating, and instead have a chance of escalating to a short story-based expedition. The Haunted Yard is a combat signature found in all systems with a security status of 0.8 and lower all throughout New Eden. This site has a guaranteed faction spawn, and has a decent potential for an escalation, either of which may lead to high-value loot drops. Only up to destroyer-class ships or regular Tier 1 cruisers are allowed into the site. You'll land directly on an acceleration gate, which you must activate to enter the site. Once inside, you'll land next to a pair of depleted station batteries. The area is initially guarded by 3 separate groups. The first group hover near the batteries, consisting of 2 frigate-sized drones. The second group is beyond a space shuttle wreck near a ruined Stargate, consisting of 4 more frigate-sized drones. 1 or more of these may be identified as Strain, which will hit you with stasis webifiers or warp disruptors. The third group guard a series of drone posts, consisting of 3 drone defenders. These will also hit you with stasis webifiers or warp disruptors. Destroying the first group near the batteries will spawn a new group of up to 4 more frigate-sized drones. Destroying the group of drone defenders will spawn a new group of 2 more frigate-sized drones near the drone posts. While you will need to deal with any drone hitting you with webifiers or disruptors, you could actually just kite around and ignore all the initial NPCs. After waiting in the area for about 2 minutes, a new group of 5 frigate-sized drones will spawn near the space shuttle wreck. Destroying this new group will spawn yet another group of 3 more frigate-sized drones. And destroying these will spawn the Commander Wave, consisting of up to 5 frigate or destroyer-sized drones. One of the destroyers will be identified as Sentient. The Sentient drone NPC will always drop a bundle of basic drone materials, which can be used to manufacture special faction drones. If you're lucky, it may also drop a Sentient faction module, or a Rogue Drone 46X Nexus chip. This type of Nexus chip can be exchanged for a blueprint copy for an Astero through the Sisters of Eve loyalty point store. The 4 leaking casks off in the distance will always drop a first-tier Overseer's effects, and a scratched and dented keycard. The scratched and dented keycards found here are actually related to a completely different combat site called the Pith Robux Asteroid Mining Site. They can be used to bypass the acceleration gate in the first room of that site. While I did not witness it during my playthroughs, the leaking casks also have a very small chance of dropping a faction module. At the same time the Commander Wave spawns, you also have a chance the site will escalate to the Pulverize the Pioneers expedition. Throughout this last fight, your radar equipment has been busy chewing on information about incoming and outgoing vessels, and it seems it has traced a very large group of ships that left this place a few minutes before you arrived. You have no clue why they left. Were they fleeing? Or was it a coincidence? Either way, there is only one way to find out. Escalations will appear on the Exploration tab of the Agency window. In the first encounter of the Pulverize the Pioneers expedition, you'll land near some debris in several bunkers. A series of freight pads and shipyards is off to your left, guarded by a pair of abandoned drones. The Sentient NPC is above. Shortly after landing, you'll have a chance the escalation will continue to the second encounter of the expedition. There's no trace of the ships themselves, but you pick up signals from a score of astrometric probes in the area. If this were not drones, one could think they were looking for a place to settle. Though faint, your instruments manage still to discern the current location of this mysterious group of ships. As with any Sentient drone NPC, this one will always drop a bundle of basic drone materials. If you're lucky, it may also drop a Sentient faction module, or a Rogue Drone 46X Nexus chip. If you're looking for a bigger fight, destroying either of the abandoned drones will spawn a new group of 8 frigate-sized drones. Several of these may be the advanced Strain drones. In the second encounter of the expedition, you'll land near a pair of depleted station batteries guarded by up to 4 frigate-sized drones. One of them will again be a sentient NPC. Shortly after landing, a new group of frigate-sized drones will spawn near an abandoned drill. Shortly after this, you'll again have a chance the escalation will continue to the third encounter of the expedition. These ships, which you seem to have caught off guard, represented only a fraction of the group indicated by the signal your radars have been picking up. Moreover, now the origin of the main signal seems to be close. Very close. If you stay in the area for the fight, 2 additional timed groups will spawn with frigate or destroyer-sized drones. In the third encounter of the expedition, you'll land amongst some debris and rocks with 2 dysfunctional solar harvesters nearby. The area is initially guarded by 2 groups of a total of 10 frigate-sized drones. One of the groups will be identified as research drones, while the other includes a sentient NPC. Destroying the sentient drone NPC has a chance of continuing the escalation to the fourth and final encounter of the expedition. You don't remember having seen such a large and rabid swarm of rogue drones before. Luckily, they were gimpy as heck. You wonder what they were trying to defend in such a desperate manner, throwing themselves at you wave after wave until all were obliterated. The signal is weaker, but still there. If you stick around for the fight, an additional time group of 2 destroyer-sized drones will spawn. In the fourth and final encounter of the Pulverize the Pioneers expedition, you'll land in a clouded area near a large particle accelerator. The area is guarded by 2 groups of drone NPCs. The first group consists of 4 frigate-sized drones, while the second group consists of 4 frigate or cruiser-sized researcher drones. Destroying the first group of regular drones spawns a new group near a cloven grey asteroid, consisting of up to 6 frigate or destroyer-sized drones. Destroying this new group spawns a second reinforcement wave, consisting of up to 7 more frigate or destroyer-sized drones. Destroying this group will spawn a third reinforcement wave of 2 more destroyer-sized drones. As the engagement continues, a single cruiser-sized drone named the Logistic Overseer will spawn. The exact trigger is unclear. It may be either timed or caused by damaging the third reinforcement wave. Shortly after the Logistic Overseer spawns, the closing message of the expedition is shown. The drone transports were easy prey after you had previously wasted most of their escort ships. You wonder what they were doing here in the middle of nothing, and conclude that the only plausible reason was that you must have intercepted and destroyed a new rogue drone colony in the making. The Logistic Overseer will always drop a bundle of Tech 2 salvage materials. It may be possible it can also drop a sentient faction module. If your final encounter ends up in a low-security system, be aware that you won't be behind an acceleration gate during the encounter. A ship like the Ishkar, fit with railguns, will run the Haunted Yard in about 4 minutes. If you choose to loot the leaking casks on the rather low chance of an extra faction module, you can add an extra minute or so. Due to the gate restrictions, I would consider assault frigates and tactical destroyers to be good choices for this site. Younger pilots flying frigates or destroyers will need to be careful here. If you get pinned down by both a webifier and warp disruptor, you can easily get swarmed with no way for your weapons to track the enemy drones. Alpha pilots will either want to pull range with a long-range kiting fit, or wait until they're in a cruiser when they're backed up by a full flight of light drones. While recording the footage for this video series, I kept track of the statistics for 25 Haunted Yard sites. Over this period, 2 of the sentient NPCs dropped something beyond a bundle of basic drone materials, and 8 of the sites escalated to the Pulverize the Pioneers expedition. The Pulverize the Pioneers expedition can escalate up to 4 times, and every encounter is guaranteed to have a sentient NPC. Through my 8 escalations, I had a total of 12 encounters. Unfortunately for me, none of the sentient NPCs dropped anything beyond a bundle of basic drone materials. Only one of the escalations went through to the final encounter, where the Logistics Overseer only dropped Tech 2 salvage materials. Throughout high-security space, you can also probe down other unrated sites like the Desolate Site or Chemical Yard. Depending on where you find yourself in high-security space, my past work includes a complete set of combat site video guides for all pirate factions. You can check out any of those videos on my channel right now. If you're curious about fitting assault frigates for combat site exploration, you can check out the gaming section of my website over at RileyEntertainment.com. Stay tuned to Riley Entertainment for more EVE Online combat site guides, and smash that like button if you enjoy my content.